Good morning, South Africa. We've got all the latest news stories and headlines in South Africa you really need to know on Wednesday, January 19, 2022. Now let's take a good look at the top 5 stories that have made headlines for today. Mafe released from Valkenberg, bail set for Saturday. Senior counsel Dolly Mpofu's application to have the magistrates' court order that sent the alleged parliament arsonist to Valkenberg Hospital on February 11 succeeded with costs. Judge President John Hlophe said the order was unlawful but reserved judgment, promising that the written judgment would be released within 3 months. Mafe was sent for psychiatric evaluation after a preliminary diagnosis by Dr. Zelda van Tonder, which alleged that the accused suffered from paranoid schizophrenia. The medical report was dated January 3, the day after Mafe was arrested. It became apparent that Mafe was not observed for the prescribed period of 72 hours. John Hlophe took issue with this. If you look at the Mental Health Act, there's a reference to 72 hours. The diagnosis is not a one-off thing. I can't just look at you and say you are insane, said Hlophe to the state, which was opposing the application. Matric results must be published on media platforms, says High Court. The Gauteng High Court in Pretoria ordered that matric results must be published on all platforms on Tuesday, January 18. This comes after the Department of Basic Education, DB, announced that results would not be publicly available this year. Last week, the Education Department said the publication of matric results would be a violation of the Protection of Personal Information Act, POPIA, and therefore the tradition would come to an end in 2022. This prompted an urgent interdict by AfriForum and 2 other parties, while the South African National Editors Forum, SONAF, complained that the non-publication of the 2021 matric results would threaten print publications, which are already in a precarious financial situation. Zoo lions in Pretoria may hold key to SARS next COVID-19 variant. At a time where vaccines, boosters, and even naturally acquired immunity against COVID-19 are booming, the fearmongering about virus mutations is, quite often, overwhelmingly misleading. However, a group of zoo lions in Pretoria may have just shown us a glimpse of the future. Researchers from the University of Pretoria have completed a landmark study, and the only one of its kind in South Africa, which looks into the human-to-animal transmission of COVID-19. Remarkably, they found that asymptomatic human carriers could pass the disease on to the lions in captivity, 3 of whom came down with a positive PCR test last year. Woman killed by lightning in Kempton Park. A woman was killed by lightning in Kempton Park on Monday evening, while another was rushed to hospital in a critical condition. Met spokesperson Kyle van Reenen said a 40-year-old female had been killed while a second woman was left fighting for her life after being struck by lightning. He said paramedics responded to the scene on Jones Road at approximately 1800 hours. When paramedics arrived on the scene, they found 2 women on the ground. Closer inspection found the first woman to display no signs of life, and she was declared dead on arrival of paramedics, van Reenen said. Durban N2 highway closed, truck spills 40,000 litres of paraffin. The Durban N2 highway near Queen Nondi Drive is not in a good way this morning. A truck lost control on the road during the early hours of Tuesday. According to the ALS paramedic spokesperson Gareth Jameson, the disaster struck in the wee hours of Tuesday not far from Queen Nondi Drive. Jameson initially suspected the truck was carrying petrol before it was later discovered paraffin was in its large tank. This is Leah for the South African.